My dad called me Sunday morning asking for money, and I love my dad, but I knew exactly where that money was going to be going.
So why do I have to be roped into this whole thing?
So imagine you let your older brother borrow $3,000.
I don't care who you are or what you're going through. Do not ask me to borrow you money. Don't ask me to send you money.
So, today we are going to take a look at this growing problem about families constantly asking for money and how it feels like the more financially stable you become, the more people around you suddenly start needing that small favors. Let's go.
My dad called me Sunday morning asking for money, and I love my dad, but I knew exactly where that money was going to be going. He gets about $1,400 a month from Social Security, and every month it disappears because my dad's always been the type of person to invite his family members. And I don't know if this is a norm or in your family where, like, oye, porque vienes de Estados Unidos, because you come from the United States, you for sure have money. And that's not the case. And now being retired in Mexico, my uncles still expect the same thing. And my dad, el bien dispuesto el señor. Look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I know it's all love, but one time, two time, maybe three times is okay. But if it becomes a constant thing, like my uncles are also to blame, le das la mano y te agarran el pie. And I get it. That's how my dad's always been raised, because every time I tell him, hey, ahorra tu dinero, it's $1,400. Ay, el dinero se hizo para gastar, si no, para qué lo quieres? And I get it. But now, $1,400 does not stretch like it used to. I'm trying to see how to have these conversations with him without disrespecting him. And this is the part that nobody talks about, the tax that the eldest daughter or son inherit when you're trying to become the parent of your parent, because they're not listening. I also realize that's also not their fault, them not knowing how to create a budget, them not knowing how to stretch out their money and looking for alternate ways, or actually even putting boundaries with family members. But I know I'm not the only one going through this. So how do you have these conversations with your family members who are now retired or living in Mexico, and you're out here trying to support them financially as well? But at the same time, it's like everything's so damn expensive out here. I'm just a boy trying to live. Echándole ganas one day at a time, though, right?
His father called him on the Sunday morning asking for money, but his father is always giving parties and inviting people to his house. And this is so common, especially if you are Latino, like I'm from Brazil. So here is like this: love equal money. If you love me, you need to give me money. And if you don't give me money, you just don't love me. And this is so crazy. And if you have like 25 or 30 years old, like me, I have 33, our parents just don't listen to us. They just always think we are kids and we don't know nothing about money. It's like this comment here. And Diana says, honestly, you have to start lying. I had to start telling my family that I was broke, that I had that many expenses. And I don't like to lie, but sometimes it's the easiest way. This another comment he says, unfortunately, and sometimes they have better lives than we do, and this is so true. And it's so crazy. Like, you are struggling with money, you are broke, you are asking me for money, and my life is difficult compared to yours.
So I have a family member from Bangladesh who won't stop asking me for money, and I kind of want to talk about it. Person has reached out to me on multiple occasions asking me for money. Each time I've politely said no. I don't really feel comfortable mixing extended family and money together. Of course, if you're my immediate family, like my parents and my brother, you can have it all. But extended family, that's a boundary I don't necessarily want to cross, and I think that's okay. And every time this person has asked me for money, they've always made it a point to end it with, please don't tell anyone and keep it a secret, which just makes me even more uncomfortable. So this person reached out to me a couple of days ago, and essentially they were saying is that Eid is coming up and I'm gonna donate or give away money anyways, and instead of giving it away to outsiders or donating it elsewhere, just to give the money to them. First of all, the way this person went about wording request for money was quite interesting. In the past, usually I've said no and kept it moving, because honestly it's none of my business what someone else's like financial problems or strains are. But this time I asked them if they even asked their parents or their older sibling for monetary help before asking me? The answer was quite interesting. Apparently, the father has given them an ultimatum. So in order for the father to help them out financially, they have to basically listen to this one rule, which they've declined, which is their prerogative. And the older sibling can't help out financially because the oldest sibling can't keep it a secret from their partner. And another interesting part to this story is apparently my parents, like my mom and dad, has already been helping them with financial stuff here and there. And that's great. That is definitely up my parents' alley. Good for them. So why do I have to be roped into this whole thing? If you ask me, this whole situation is kind of bizarre. Genuinely don't understand why I need to get involved when you already have other adultier adults helping you. You know what I'm trying to say? Interaction with this family member has always been cordial, has always been positive, like every time I've gone to Bangladesh. But now it has me thinking of ulterior motives. Were they always nice to me? Were they always kind to me? Did they always do things for me because one day they knew that they were gonna ask something from me? Which it kind of sucks that now I have to think that way because I don't wanna think that way of other people. Another concern I genuinely do have is, let's say I choose to help this person financially this time around. Will it be the first and last time I help them, or will it open up the floodgates for them to reach out to me whenever they want, asking me for money because they know that I'll help them out? Curious to know, what would you guys do in this situation? If an extended family reached out to you for financial help, would you help them, no questions asked? Or would you tell your parents about it? Or would you ignore it? What would you do? I'm really curious. I haven't said yes or no. I'm trying to figure out what I can say. I haven't really found the words for it yet because I don't want to be rude or mean about it, because someone asking for financial help isn't the easiest thing to do. Clearly there is something going on behind closed doors. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Hope you enjoyed this story time. What do you guys think about this makeup look so far? I think the eyeshadow turned out really cute. I'm using the Paycheck Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette, the first one. I know a lot of people shitted on that palette, but I kind of like it.
When she say, oh, it's not easy, ask someone for money because you are having financial problems, I disagree. I disagree with her because for me, this is difficult. For her, this is difficult. But for some people, this is really easy, super easy. Sometimes it's really more easy than work for the money. And if you are thinking about start giving these people money and, oh, this will end sometime. No, because some people just feel entitled for your money. I never understand this. Like when you see someone that have a car or a house or money or investments, and some people just think, oh, this people has money, that car or that house, so give it to me. No, it's not that easy for me, but for some people, it's easy. It's like this comment here. Please don't do this. My father helped so many people in his life now that he's unable to work because of suffering from several brain strokes. Sorry for your father. Nobody came forward to help our family. They are rude to us and ignore us now that we have financial problems. This is the truth. This is what happened. So stop. Help yourself before helping others. And this, don't tell anyone, oh, it's a secret, don't tell anyone. If it's a secret, it's because you are doing something wrong. And I have a really funny story. One time, my father and my mother called me at the same day. Was funny, but at that time, I feel a little bit angry. Because at the same day, my father called me and asked me 1,000. And sometime after, I don't remember the time, but my mother called me and asked for money too. Something around 700 or something like this. And my father told me, don't tell your mother. And my mother told me, don't tell your father. Because both of them were doing something wrong financially. I helped them, but only that time, and after this, no more. Of course, I give money to them on special occasions, like birthday, Christmas, and Mother's Day, Father's Day, but I don't turn this something usual.
So imagine you let your older brother borrow $3,000. He asks you for help. He tells you he's struggling with paying rent. His hours got cut at work. Like, he's just struggling and he needs help. You being a good sister, you decide to help him, but you do tell him, like, hey, I'm gonna need that money eventually. Like, you can't like go years without paying me back. Like, I need you to pay me back. And your brother's like, yeah, like, let me just wait till tax season. Like, I'll pay you. And you're like, okay. Tax season goes by, he receives his taxes, and he tells you that his car broke down, that he doesn't have the money. Next year comes by, and again the same thing, something came up and he can't pay you back. So 2 years have gone by. And then you start hearing by your mom and your other siblings that he's starting to plan his daughter's quinceañera, which you're confused about because I thought you had no money, right? So you don't bring it up. You kind of just stay quiet and see how it goes. And then you receive a text, a family group chat, asking you, what do you want to be madrina for? Like, what do you want to help with for the quinceañera? And you're kind of like, okay, like, I'm not going to help you when you owe me money. So you talk to your mom about it, and you're like, Mom, like, I thought he didn't have money to pay his rent. Like, I thought he needed all this help. And then look at him. He's like planning his daughter's quinceañera when he hasn't even paid me back. The mom's like, oh my God, don't make anything a big problem right now. Like, it's not that big of an issue. Like, you'll be fine. You have a good job. And the whole point is that he doesn't care that he owes you money. He's prioritizing other things instead of paying you back, right? So then you get mad because you're like, it's not about if I need the money now or not. It's the fact that he owes me, and he's been owing me for 2 years when he told me he was going to pay me back right away. And now I see him, doing all this, and he has the nerve to still ask me, what am I going to help with for the quinceañera? So then you decide to confront your brother and tell him in front of his wife, like, hey, you guys owe me money. You guys need to pay me back that money, and I'm not gonna, help you guys with the quinceañera until you guys pay me back that money. How is it fair for me to be struggling and you guys over here owing people money, and you guys still have money to make a quinceañera? Like, how the fuck does that make sense? So because she said that, it created a big old fight between them. Like, the brother started telling her that she was jealous because her daughter didn't have a quinceañera, and she was just, trying to make it about her when it was about his daughter, and how she was such a bad sister for not supporting him. And he just made it a big old thing. She left, and then they ended up calling other family members and telling them what happened, and everybody thinks that she's the villain. The mom called her and told her, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you're making this about you, and it's about, our niece, like your niece. It's her quinceañera. Like, why are you trying to ruin it? And she basically gets disinvited from the quinceañera. They tell her that she's a problem, that they don't want her there, that they don't want to deal with her, and they're no longer talking. But the point is that she still wants her money. Like, talking or not, give me my money, right? And the brother told her, I'll pay you when I can. The quinceañera is scheduled to be next weekend, okay? And she is so upset about it because everybody helped him make the quinceañera. And she's heard that he owes other people money too, and he's never paid them back. And she never really cared about that because it's her brother. But now that she's seeing that he's doing it to her, like, it just hurts her on a different level, and she's okay with not talking to them no more. And one of her friends actually suggested that she takes him to, like, small claims, I don't know what it's called, but to basically sue him for that money. And again, she doesn't want to be petty, but she feels like she has to prove a point. What would you guys do? I know there's a lot of people out there that owe people money or that let people borrow money that never got paid. Okay, there's a lot of people that do that. And like 90% of the time, it's either your close friends or your family. And, I remember a long time ago, someone told me, like, oh, when you let family borrow money, just consider it given. Like, don't expect it to be given back. And I hate that thought process because that's fucked up. Like, if anything, you would expect your family to pay you back, right? Like, I would understand if you let, like, someone you barely know borrow money. I would be more iffy about them than my family. But if my family, like, I gotta be like, oh, my family's not gonna pay me back, like, that tells you something, right? And don't even get me started on the whole quinceañera topic, because that's a whole other thing. But I feel like if you don't have money to make your daughter's quinceañera, you probably shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be relying on other people to help you, especially when you owe those people money. What do you guys think? What would you do? Has this happened to you? Is she the villain? I don't think she is, but what do you guys think?
I don't know how much is a quinceañera. In Brazil, we have something like sweet 15, something like this, and it's a lot of money, like 10,000. And I think it's crazy. I never had one. I think the worst problem is people don't understand. You don't lend money. Or you give money or you don't give. It's like this comment here that says, we are all struggling. Some of us just struggle in silence, just pretend to be broke. And this is so true. Many times in my life, I was struggling. And I never ask for money. But for some people, this is not a problem and they will live better than you.
The first time my immigrant parents asked me for money when I was 15 years old, I had made $800 from working that summer at Burger King and they needed it to go to India. I knew I was cooked. Like, starts so young for some kids of immigrants, financially supporting their parents. And that moment taught me that, okay, this might be a theme throughout my life. And I think, to be clear, I also want to give back to my parents financially, and I definitely have. Like, I've given lots of money since I got into my adult working years, and this is just a pressure that a lot of children of immigrants face, but it isn't talked about enough in the personal finance space. There is cultural nuance, there's guilt, there's generational stuff, there's money trauma, there's so many layers to our relationship with our finances, and things that get in our way of maybe building wealth or just being so individualistic with our financial resources. So yeah, if you can relate, make sure you hit that follow button to join my money coaching community where I talk about this in more detail.
A comment here say parents take advantage of good kids, and this is the biggest true. You never see parents trying to borrow money from that bad kid, because the bad kid is always broke, but not only because of this, but just because they just say, oh, he's so cute, he's so funny, oh, your brother, your sister, he's always struggling, but he's funny, she's funny, so I will not bother him or her, but you, the good kid, give me money, give me more. Can't say I got a car accident and got 60K. I used 800 out of that and the rest went to them, the parents. Grad money, sweet 16 money, birthday money, just nothing ever saved for myself. Many parents just don't know what is saving money. They just don't think this is an option. They don't understand the feeling of having money at their bank accounts. I know this because my parents one time had $50,000 in their bank account, and it's so much money. Like, think about the investments you can do, or just start something, like make this money turn in more money. What they did, they bought a car. And they are poor. They are poor. They don't have this money. And for me, so crazy that they had this big amount of money. And the first idea that they had was, let's buy a car. A nice car. So everyone around can see how much successful we are. Only God knows how much I hated that car.
Can we normalize not lending money to your family? Like, I personally don't let any family members or friends, anybody really, borrow money from me. Like, I've had cousins ask to borrow money. They're like, oh, I'm gonna get paid on blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why are you asking me? Like, why don't you ask your brothers and sisters? Like, I am not an option. And I used to not always be this way. I used to let my parents borrow money all the time. And they would never pay me back. It all kind of started when I was 18 years old. My dad had lost his job and he had just bought like a brand new Hummer, and the car payments were like $800. And I had gotten like $5,000 of FAFSA a quarter, and I paid my dorms, I bought my books, and I had extra money, and I let him borrow some of that money to pay off his car. The car ended up getting repoed, so that money went to waste. Eventually, I had bigger bills, I had more rent to pay. I bought a car, and I was like, yo, I do not have the money to be like letting you borrow and not getting it back, because like I actually got stuff to pay for. So now I don't let them borrow money. If I let them borrow money, it's more like a gift. It's me knowing that there's a pretty good chance that I might not get it back. And I'm okay with that.
This is how I think. I never lend money for my parents. I just give them. If I have and I want, I just give them and I don't ask for it. But I also don't let them think that this is something permanent. One time I was thinking about paying some of their bills, and after thinking some time about it, I just realized that this was a horrible idea. If something happens and I could not pay, they will just go crazy and ask me why I was so irresponsible about the money. So I just think, no, 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 no. I will give you some money sometimes, birthdays, Christmas, as I said before, and in case of some kind of really big emergency. But please don't ask me for money. For me, this is really annoying.
By you giving them half of your paycheck, you're setting a precedent of how they should be treating you. Because at this point, they do not respect you. They just see you as a piggy bank. Because if they respected you, they would not be demanding any money. They would actually be happy for you that you're making your own money, and they would want you to save so that you can have a good future. But that is not the case with these parents. No one is putting a gun to your head and being like, give me half of your paycheck. So why are you giving it to them? It's your money. You should be able to do whatever you want with it, whether it's spending it, saving it, investing it. Don't let your family control you. Like, it's not too late. I understand that sometimes we do things out of fear, but you're an adult. Don't be scared. Set your boundaries. Next week or next month, whenever you get your next paycheck, immediately send half of that money that you would have sent to them to your savings account. If you don't have a savings account, I would recommend Ally. That's what I use. It's a high yield savings account. I forget the rates, but I think it's like 4 or 5%. And that way, when they ask, you'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I can't. Like, that money is gone. And you can make up a lie. You can say like, oh, I get charged a certain amount if I try to remove that money. Or, oh, I can't remove that money for a certain amount of time. Like, they're not gonna know. But invest that money in yourself. You're not gonna regret it.
I have a friend that had this problem with his mom. His mom take all his money, all the paycheck. And he was always like, oh, I don't have money. And one time I asked him about it and he said, oh, my mom just take all my money. And oh, and where is your credit card? Is with her. And after something like 5 years, he changed his job. And when he's changed his job, he also changed his bank account. And when this new credit card arrived, he just don't give this credit card to his mom. His mom went super angry, called him selfish, and I was super happy for him because this is really difficult. It's a really difficult change. And his mom now. His mom was super angry, and sometimes he says, oh, my mom always say, oh, you changed, you are now are super selfish. But let's be honest, he's just an adult.
I don't care who you are or what you're going through. Do not ask me to borrow you money. Don't ask me to send you money. Whether it's 50 rand, whether it's 100 rand, don't ask me to borrow you money, please. I will harshly blue tick you because you're making me feel so bad when I tell you that I don't have it. And you follow up with, oh, I'll pay you back on Wednesday. It's not that much. It's just 160. I need to get an Uber back home. How did you get to destination B knowing damn well you don't have 160 to get back home? Don't do that. Please don't do that. It's not cool. Don't ask me to send you money. No.
For me, this is so funny. Like, it's not that much, but you don't have it. So, it's that much. And believe me, everyone has a sad story. And many times, this story is just fake. Set boundaries, my friends. I know it's difficult, but it's necessary. That's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me your stories. And if you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribe. See you!